Hey, this is Ross Payton with Role Playing Public Radio. We're here playing Delta Green, and Bridget was running the game, and I don't remember the exact title.
Hey everybody, it's Bridget here, award-winning author and industry-leading game designer. We're going to be playing Amanuensis Dolls, which is a game for Delta Green. It's a scenario I wrote a couple weeks ago. You may have heard a version of it played on the Patreon games. Just to shout out to remind you that if you are subscribed to RPPR's Patreon, it's the $10 level, $5 level, $10 level. You can sign up and play in games run by RPPR staff members. So if you like the stuff I play, if you like the stuff Aaron plays, Ross.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you get to play in a game run by most innovative GM of RPPR, Bridget Renaud.
That's true. Thank you. Anyway, so today we're playing Amanuensis Dolls. We have our three characters here, and our three players. I'm joined by Faye from Thrilling Intent, Ross, of course, from RPPR, and longtime listener, first-time caller, Noah.
Hey!
So if you
Noah ran our first game of Zweihander.
If y'all could introduce yourselves and your characters.
All right, I'll go first. My name is Faye Morgan Kells from Thrilling Intent, and more recently, the producer of Cry Novel on Twitter. Follow it before they ban female presenting nipples too.
Not dating this at all?
No, not at all. I am going to be playing Ada Kafkian. She is a former bookstore owner who got wrapped up in this whole mess when she came in contact with a set of texts that were less than normal.
All right. I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Ross,
okay.
Go.
Hey, it's Ross. I'm going to be playing, let's see, my character's name is Edmund Altum. He is a U.S. Marshal, and he is a dedicated agent, Delta Green agent, and also at 55, too old for this shit. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Noah, and I'm going to be playing United States Marshal Service Deputy Errol Brandt. He is 30 years old and kind of a shitbag.
Am I the only cool person here? Am I the only one that's not a fucking cop?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, you'll be the one who has to go undercover to all the nightclubs and stuff like that.
Hi. Hello, fellow cops.
So they've already been given their briefing instructions. These are Delta Green operatives who are here to apprehend one Jack Knight. As far as they know, Mr. Knight is a horror author who may have gotten himself mixed up in things that were better left alone. And so they're here. They're going to arrest him and sort that out and hopefully keep whatever dark things he's working on from getting out into the light of day.
Okay. Where is this located? Where are we going to his house or where he works or?
Yes, you'll be going to his house.
Where's his house?
His house is a cabin out in the middle of the woods nearby the city of Calamity Falls.
Okay.
That's a very peaceful name.
Ew.
Will we happen to be in Maine, perhaps?
No, we're not in Maine. It's in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Oregon?
All right.
Like all good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oregon. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. So the van rattles away in muffled silence, leaving the snow swirling all around you. It's cold this year, colder than you can remember it being. It was a joke at the office at first. Global warming is going to kill us faster than they will, and you'd laugh. At first, it was just the mysterious they, the ghouls and monsters out there in the dark, scuttling along behind the veils of public ignorance or natural law, or whatever it was that kept nightmares in our dreams and boogeymen lodged firmly in our closets. It was easier to laugh at things when you weren't staring them in the maw or cleaning up the wreckage of bodies that used to be coworkers. Eventually, the laughter became directed at that violence. It was the only way to cope. Another agent gunned down in a green box, and he'd make jokes about how he'd likely done it in himself. It took the sting out of the truth. Comedy became a shield, and then it became a routine. No one really found it funny, But you had to do it anyway, like a ritual to mourn the dead. It was as close to a funeral as some of those agents were ever going to get. Then the laughter worked its way back around. Things in the dark, claws and teeth and screaming, undulating masses of horrors were nothing compared to the everyday reality that the world would become unlivable and it was going to be our fault. It seemed inevitable, and that was funny at first, much in the same way that nuclear winter would have been funny 50, 60 years ago. But now it's 2018, and you're staring extinction in the face on a regular basis, and the only real thought you have anymore is that it's cold, and you don't remember the last time you felt your toes, and whether or not the damn van could have driven you the last 15 fucking minutes up to the cabin instead of having to hoof it yourselves. These are decent boots, job issued, a size too big so you can fit the 3 layers of socks you need into them, but all the same, you'd rather not expend the cardio workout it's going to take to carry you up the laneway. And now that's funny, really and truly funny. Your first day into this case, and you would have wanted a gun or some magical charm or reward against evil, but now you're just whimpering to yourselves about coats and scarves and gloves. It's hilarious how times change. You huddle together, warm breath turning to clouds of vapor in the moonlight. It's bright out here, really. The overcast skies are threatening, but the snow reflects the light of the stars, clearly illuminating your path. The mailbox, flag up, marks the end of the laneway, but it'll take you a little bit of time to hoof it up to the cabin. Time to reflect and time to plan. What do you do?
I take a long drag from my cigarette and light another.
Are there any signs that like someone's like is the cabin so we can see the cabin, are the lights on, or is there smoke coming from the chimney?
Yeah, there's smoke coming from the chimney.
Okay.
And the flag's up on the mailbox, so presumably someone's still using it.
Okay. Are there
I checked the mailbox.
All right.
Inside, you find several letters. They're marked with proper postage, made out to several offices, some local and some not. The addresses include what you assume must be the utility company for the area, several to the district's congressional representative, and a letter marked return to sender, and one to the Library of Congress.
Moved right quick to invasion of privacy, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I kind of did. I'm going to stuff those inside of my jacket.
And theft, of course. I should have known.
I mean, you know what we're here to do, right?
Of course I do, but I expect a little bit of decency at least.
If everything turns out all right, I'll put them back in the mailbox. I don't think the postal service is going to be coming all the way out here this late at night.
The deed is done, it doesn't matter. What matters is that now I know a bit more about your character.
Is there a car parked in front of the cabin or anything?
No.
Okay. Wait, is there any car? Like, how is this guy getting around if he doesn't have a car?
You can't see a car.
Okay. Interesting. Wait, is there snow on the ground?
There is snow on the ground. It's fairly deep.
Okay. Any recent footprints going to or from the cabin?
No. I mean, the walk up to the like the driveway up to the cabin looked like it's been shoveled.
Okay.
And obviously the roads you came down had been cleared by snowplow, but you're standing in about, I want to say 2-3 inch deep snow, and the snow that hasn't been cleared, like been recently falling, is much worse.
Okay. Is there a light on through that we can see through the window?
No.
Okay. So it's pretty late. He's possibly asleep.
Well, the other thing is, like, there might not actually be windows because it's a pretty cold place. So if he has shutters over the windows, like, you're not gonna.
Oh, can we not see from this distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ways off.
He's an author. You know the hours they keep. There's no way he's asleep.
Well, all right, fair enough. We should probably just go march through the part that's been snowed in, so we don't leave tracks, or I mean, that's been shoveled in. So shoveled.
Why don't we have a little bit of a powwow first, eh?
Okay.
How are we coming at this? Does the guy know we're coming? Are we supposed to just kick down that front door, put a bullet in his head, and call it a day? What are we doing here?
I would assume he shouldn't know that we're coming, because if it does, that means we have worse problems than that. So we go in, use those ski masks, to make sure he doesn't know who we are. We can either, I don't want to just shoot him. I want to see if he's been communicating with anybody else. see if the threat spread anywhere
Right,
else.
because communicating with anybody else is more important than a human life.
Well, I mean, if he's spreading the wrong information to people, then yes.
Allegedly.
Well, we're not going to.
We gotta confirm first,
Yeah.
and then contain the issue if need be.
Yeah.
If anything, if nothing seems wrong, we can just make it seem like a
House invasion,
a bad
Honestly-
break-in, and
home invasions. Those happen.
Wild animals did it if one of you happens to go off the hook.
If we all have masks on, it doesn't matter. You won't be able to identify us. So we go in, tie him up, look around, see if he's talked to anybody else, and assess the situation there. But go in there and
You
continue.
seriously think he's been talking to anybody else? Look at this place. It's out in the middle of nowhere. No
Like,
phone poles, no internet.
Letters, satellite, internet.
Oh, God, right. Snail mail.
Well, these are people who aren't rational. Who knows what they're capable of? So let's get this over with. So I just start marching towards him, using the driveway and shoveled path, so I don't leave footprints.
hold on.
Okay.
We should come up with aliases
Okay.
just to
Yeah.
keep our anonymity.
Yeah. I'll be Smith.
I'll be Johnson.
All right.
All right. I'll be Jane.
All right. So let's see.
So you want to head up to the cabin, or is there other things you want to do here?
I mean, we don't see anything other than the wilderness around us, right?
No.
Okay.
Is there... You said there's no, like, lights on or anything, right?
No, just smoke from the chimney.
Is it visible at all that there might be any electricity in the place? Like, is there any electric power?
Power lines.
No.
Like a
you
private
don't see any
generator?
power lines.
Okay.
Oh, so there's like... Okay, wow. Dark Ages back here.
Well, you
or
could-
you could have a generator, or be,
Buried power lines.
If possible, could we try to scope around for... Here, why don't I... Before we bust that door in, why don't we take a peek around to see if we can find a generator and cut the lights or any alarms that he might have?
Yeah, I guess we could. Yeah, maybe someone should secure the back in case he tries to make a run for it. When we go.
Paper, scissors for it.
I'll take care of that.
Oh,
Okay.
please, where's the fun in that? Rock? Ready?
I'm not doing this. Do you
You're a
even
bore.
have like
Okay.
a weapon?
I don't need a weapon, I've got these. I flex. Bitch, I have a 70 in unarmed combat.
Jesus.
Well, that won't do much
Aren't you a
good.
writer?
Yeah. Well,
No, I was a bookstore owner.
Oh, that makes sense. Books are heavy.
so
I too have watched Black Books.
yeah.
Yes! Yep.
All right. So we could. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Just. He'll go. He has a weapon in the back. You'll come with me through the front, and you can be the one to grab him, and then I'll be there as backup in case anything happens. How's that?
Yeah, just lift him over
Sure.
your head.
Whatever. Sounds good to me.
All right. All right. So we'll do that. So
Okay.
Off you go now.
The walk up to the cabin is exactly as terrible as you're hoping it wouldn't be. By the time you arrive, things like stealth and tactics feel secondary to just getting inside and getting this shit over with. A large snowdrift lines the makeshift walkway up to the porch, like someone had shoveled the snow fairly recently. Judging by the size of the piles, it must snow deep here and quite regularly, which corroborates the awful slog you had up the laneway. Smoke pours steadily from the chimney, but there's really just the one way of ingress. Windows on the north and west sides are firmly shuttered and locked. The rusted nature of the metal seems like they haven't been opened in a long time. There's a door on the south side of the building, and really your only way inside. It's a small building, can't be more than 1-2 rooms inside. A decent deck and overhang are the only ornamentation to the face of it. The door itself is solid, but if you had to ram it, at least one of you could do it. The closer you get to the building, the more the whole thing seems like a waste. All this for one guy? And then off to the eastern side, there's a small, like looking like shack type thing,
Like an outhouse or like a shed to store.
kind of like an outhouse, but a little bit bigger.
Okay, it's like something to store like power tools and stuff like that in.
A
Mhm.
2-person outhouse.
Yeah.
For you
I
and
I think
your
it's called a
sweetheart.
glory hole.
No.
Uh,
So there's only one door. There's no door in the back.
Yeah, there's only the one door into the building.
Okay. Well, I think we can. Yeah. So maybe we don't need someone in the back. I don't think he can unlock and open the shutters and break a window before we can
Should-
get in.
should I go look at the outhouse?
Yeah. Well, let's just go. We'll all go just to double check in case there's.
I'm not gonna romp around in this snow. We agreed on who's doing what. Yeah, going out back to look for power. The two of us are going in to get the guy.
All right.
I've been tromping through the snow for 30 minutes, and I'm about sick of it.
Well, there's no back door, so Johnson doesn't need to do that. So we'll just let's
Yeah,
go.
he's a big fella. Johnson, big old Johnson, can handle himself.
All right.
That's right.
All right. So I forgot. Yeah, I'll just break the door in, I guess.
Okay.
Not even going to knock first.
And damn.
No, well, element of surprise.
So who's all going into? Are you all headed into the cabin together, or?
No, I think it's just me and Smith going
Well,
in.
there's no. I thought there was a back door, but there's nowhere else for
There's
Johnson.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say that you two are going in, and I'm double checking around back as you two go in.
Okay. All right. that's
Okay.
fine.
So I'll do the generator building real quick first, and it is in fact a generator building. So it's like a small, like little shitty, like kind of shack,
Mhm.
and it's mostly just to stockpile wood, and then or coal or some kind of fuel, along with the actual generator itself, and then it's hooked by a line from the building up to the actual house.
Right.
So whatever lights and things like that are on inside are probably powered by this.
Okay.
It's
It's
on
not going.
humming, but it doesn't seem like there's anything sinister going in here, unless like all the bugs that are probably hanging out in the generator room in the summer is probably the grossest thing that's about it.
Okay. I'll peek around, check the rafters and everything real quick, and then
Okay. So while you're out there doing that, for those of us at the cabin,
Mhm.
the door swings open faster and louder than you were going for. It slams against the wall, having been blown in completely. Maybe the wind was with you, or maybe you're stronger than you thought. The noise is excruciating in the relative silence of the wilderness. Light spills from inside. There's a rather tacky chandelier providing most of it, but the hearth is no slouch, and nor is the desk lamp. You notice things in slow motion, like a car accident. The horrendous bearskin rug beneath the chandelier in front of the fireplace. The small table and chair in the near corner, like a cute little breakfast nook in one of those homesteading catalogs. The huge bookshelf perched on the wall behind the desk. The desk itself, of course, that's hard not to notice. It takes up all your focus. It commands the room, placed opposite the doorway. It stares at you like a loaded gun on the other end of a standoff. It's large, well made, scattered with paper and ink and pens and a typewriter. It's less of a desk and more of the idea of a desk, plucked from some detective novel from 30 years ago, dropped into this quaint cabin in the middle of nowhere. It's comical. It's a joke. And like all jokes, it quickly turns to violence.
Oh.
Neither of you remembers who draws first. The man behind the desk twitches, looking to his left. The rifle on the wall is too obvious. Your hands go to your weapons instinctively, and the tension of the room builds to a sharpened point. What do you do?
I yell, freeze or I'll shoot.
Oh, I don't yell anything. I charge the guy.
The man ignores your questions, muttering to himself instead. You're not supposed to be here yet, he says quietly. His voice rises as he points a finger in your direction. You're too early. You're always too early. He goes for the gun. So, I have you all figure out your initiative?
Yes.
Let's see. That's usually just our dex score. Highest dex goes first.
13.
10.
Okay. So it will be our two agents starting with Ada, and then it will be Mr. Knight.
Okay. How much distance is there between him and me?
So you got to cross the whole length of the cabin, and it's like a fairly large room, and he's got the desk in the way of you.
Okay. I want to attempt to And he has a gun drawn, right?
He's going for a gun. It's real close to him.
Okay, I'm going to chance it and try to close the gap, leap the desk, and strangle him.
Okay.
Choke him out specifically, not lethally.
Jesus.
You want to try athletics first, then, to vault the desk?
Yes, I sure do. Do I have an athletics? That's all right. That is a 2.
Okay, so you vault the desk. Okay, and then can I have you roll unarmed then to attempt to grapple him?
Mm-hmm. 48.
Is he going to try to
I assume
oppose?
that's a success.
Yes,
What?
I have 70.
Well, is he going to try and dodge or fight back?
Because
that would be
he's not going to try and fight back in the fisticuffs. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he doesn't.
All right. Steady now. Steady.
You never let me have the time to finish.
Pardon me, but I don't believe we've met.
You're the one I hate the most.
Me?
While she's doing that, I'm going to go and grab the rifle. So he can't get to it.
Okay. It's just a regular hunting rifle, and despite its age, it seems to be particularly well cared for, but it's definitely loaded.
Okay.
Smithy's fucking delusional.
Well, that is the reason we're here. All right.
Help me fucking tie him up. I've got energy, but not enough to last the day.
Yeah. I put the rifle well out of reach, then produce handcuffs and handcuff him.
Forgetting this part. I'm gonna fix this next time.
The fuck you mean next time? There's no next time. This is open and shut right here.
He kind of glares at you and goes, "Did you always have an accent?"
Far as I've known, yeah.
Can't remember.
About my whole fucking life. 30-something years.
And then he turns to Agent Altum, or Marshal Altum, and goes, "Do you like the accent? Like, do you think it makes for a better scene?"
Excuse me?
I don't know what your damage is, man, but it's not a matter of opinion, all right? Look, we're going to... How the fuck did you know we were coming? As I handcuff him.
He doesn't say anything to that.
Yeah. All right. So he's either bluffing or paranoid and just assumed there's always someone coming to get him, or he had inside information. So we need to search that place and find out if he had inside information, who gave it to him.
Oy.
Yeah. Well, I
reckon the desk is probably I reckon the desk is the best place to start.
All right. I go outside to see if Johnson's on his way back to the cabin.
Yeah, around this time he's wandering in from the cold.
Okay. I fill in Johnson on what our perp said. You have any clues on how he could know that, or is he just guessing?
I mean, unless he's got like some buried security lines going out, I don't really. I mean, he could have just looked out the window and seen us. It's not exactly. I mean, snow reflects a lot of light, so
yeah.
Still, specifically, he said this time and mentioned several things that lead me to believe he's under the impression this has happened before, either not with us or with us.
There's supposed to be 4 of you. Where's the 4th one?
What?
I like
right.
Yeah, he could be delusional too. Don't. We should look for hallucinogens.
It's beginning to seem like it's a bit of a delusion.
Why don't
happens here out in the middle of nowhere? There's not much else to do aside from drugs.
Why don't you gag him first, and then let's take a look around.
Gagging's not going to help any.
Why is
no,
that?
but it's sure as shit going to
Stories
be
by
a bit funny
talking.
now, isn't it? I
haven't read a book aloud in years.
I pull a couple of pages off of his desk, crumple them up, and stick them in his mouth.
He seems incredibly upset, but much quieter.
Poetic, isn't it?
All right. We should. I'll keep an eye on him for now. Me too. Search.
So Faye, I think you said you were going to check the stuff on the desk first.
Yeah, can I use like bureaucracy or alertness or something for that?
Yeah.
Sweet. Or what would be the role for it?
Search.
Yeah, search should be fine.
Okay.
I have search.
Add that.
I'm pretty good at search. Do you want me to try?
Yeah. Let's do. No. Fuck it. I'm committed. I fail by about as much as I could have.
All right, I will search the rest of I'll search the rest of this room. I'll look around.
This really is a nice desk. You have to stop and admire.
Well,
the
I failed that
craftsmanship of
too.
things like this.
So,
Is there like a back room, bedroom, something?
Yeah,
along
there's like a little. It's kind of like a blanket, just like hanging over this doorway that seals off the back of the place from the front of the cabin.
Okay, at least it's not a beaded like curtain.
So, Faye, the papers on the desk seem to be more letters. There are stern letters advising the nature of copyright law in the state, received letters of rejection from several publishing companies, as well as statements of payment from publishing companies still sending royalties from Knight's earlier works. And you can investigate this further if you want, or there's of course, the rest of the desk and other items in the room.
I'll just glance through. What are some of his earlier works? Like, what are those mentioned by name or content or anything like that?
His earlier work, you'd have to like dig through the royalty payments and things like that if you wanted to check that out.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so can I have you roll like bureaucracy?
Hell yeah,
Or
baby!
Some kind of paperwork skill.
I'm good at that shit.
And then I'll switch to Noah.
Crit. Wait, crit is doubles.
Yes.
Even doubles, right?
well, if it's,
It's
under your
doubles
skill.
under.
Okay, yeah. Doubles under crit.
What'd you get?
Okay.
Like a 22 or something?
Yeah, I got a 44.
Oh, well.
So looking at the royalty payments, the royalty payments are paltry sums and nothing for books published earlier than 15 years ago. Whatever made Knight popular before seems to have petered out a long time ago.
So
It's one of those places still has lights on. It's doubtful the royalties are enough for someone to afford food, much less a private residence.
So he's a hack trying to recapture previous glory.
The letters of rejection are broad statements refusing Knight's newer works. Some are overly polite form letters, but those that are more personalized talk about the market saturation and Knight's works being, quote, too derivative. Letters from publishing companies that worked with him in the past are begging him to consider doing something novel outside of the horror genre. All right. Noah, what did you want to do?
Well, first, I moved towards the blanket. I'm going to say over my shoulder, Jane, can you put on a spot of tea, please?
Sure. Just as soon as I finish these papers, some tea would be nice right about now.
And I wave the unopened letters I got from the mailbox over my shoulder. And then I move into the back area of the cabin.
Okay. So, through the little, hanging, this little blanket is a hallway. The hallway is short, but it has a lot of things to say in that time. And unfortunately, all of them are vulgar. The dust would suggest that no one has cleaned it in a long time. The carpet laying along the length of it has been scuffed and torn in so many places that it barely even sits in the middle of the hallway. There's 3 doors, equidistant from each other, the only lighting coming from a light fixture on the wall, giving the entire place a gloomy look. It's not very homely at all. The doors all have little plaques fitted to the front, suggesting what they might be used for. In order from where you are towards further down the hallway, they are the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedroom.
Oh, kitchen's back here. All right. I will head towards the kitchen then.
Okay. Ross, did you want to do a thing while everybody else is looking at stuff?
Is there anything else of interest in this main room, the room with the desk?
There's lots of kind of stuff. You've got,
the bookshelf.
The bookshelf, the desk itself, because you've only checked the top of it. There's the fireplace.
All right, I'll look inside the desk if it opens up or if there's drawers.
Okay. The contents of the desk include mundane things like a letter opener and a stapler, along with pens and erasers, stamps, and envelopes and the like. At first glance, a lot of this looks worthless, so you're going to need search to dig through it and hopefully find useful.
Okay, well, I'm also checking specifically underneath the desk to see if he taped anything under it.
Okay.
But yeah, I will do a roll for that. Make that 2,350.
Upon further investigation, one drawer is shallower than it should suggest. Feeling around, you find a secret panel. There are 3 items in here that you can take a closer look at.
Okay.
There's a little manual, a woodworking kit, and a key.
Manual, okay, woodworking kit, and a key. What, like, is it an old style, old timey key, or is it like a newer one? Looked like it was kind
It's
of
an
Walmart.
old style, old timey key.
Okay, does
And
it look
the key is labeled attic.
attic? Okay. I will take that, and I will yell out to Junction, look for an attic door.
Got it.
An attic door? All right.
There's a key for it. What's the
What? Was this place
Yeah.
2-story looking from the outside?
No.
No.
The manual, what's it a manual of?
It is a repair manual for it's a small book detailing the repair of books and other papers that have been damaged or defaced.
Okay. Does it look, I flipped through it looking for like marginalia or handwritten notes or like pieces of paper.
He hasn't like
stuck in-
written in it or highlighted it or added anything.
and there's
to
nothing
this.
stored in it. No papers or anything.
Has he defaced this book about book repair?
I'm not
That would be
defacing. I'm
ironic,
just
but
flipping through it.
Not you.
Okay.
And then the woodworking kit is just a very basic woodworking kit made for simple carving and engraving.
Okay. Does it look like it's been used or is it still like fresh in box?
Yes.
Okay. I look at Knight and hold out the kit. What you been working on? And I'll lean in and take the papers out of his mouth.
What have I been working on? Genius, of course.
Mhm.
Best story ever made. The last story they'll ever need.
Huh.
I'm gonna go put that tea on. Have fun talking to him.
Yep. So what, I mean, you don't need a woodworking kit to make a novel. What have you been carving?
He doesn't say anything to that. He just kind of glares at you.
All right. All right. I look at the papers that were crumpled up. Anything unusual, or is it the same kind of stuff?
You look at which papers?
The
Sorry?
papers that Jane stuffed in his mouth, are they the same type?
Yeah, it's the same rejection letters and things like that.
Okay.
He's got a lot of them.
Okay.
All right. For our friends in the kitchen is beyond disgusting. Nominally, the features of the room include a sink, a drying rack, a counter, a fridge, and an oven, but they clearly haven't been cleaned in a very, very long time. Dishes are piled in the sink with all kinds of film and mold growing from them. The door to the oven is completely busted, and it sits slightly ajar, revealing a soot chart inside. All of the cupboards are doorless and bare, leaving a very unlived-in look. The only thing remotely fresh is a carving board with some kind of meat on it. Glancing at the fridge, you're not looking forward to opening that monstrosity.
Is it, at a glance, what kind of meat is it?
Hard to tell. Venison?
All right.
You're an optimist.
Hmm.
It's like staked into the cutting board with a knife by the
Well, Johnson,
Great.
I don't rightly feel like doing this man's dishes, so I can have a pot of tea. If you want that tea, get it your fucking self.
Yeah, is there a kettle anywhere?
I mean, you can dig through the pile of dishes.
Nah, not yet.
I opened
I'll-
the fridge. Curiosity killed the cat.
Okay. Compared to the rest of the kitchen, the inside is actually clean and well organized. It's by far the most disgusting part, however. Categorized into torso, arms, legs, and head, the shelves of the fridge currently contain the dismembered body of someone. Can I please have you roll sanity?
Fuck! Okay.
You know when I said you were an optimist, like about the meat.
Ugh. All right, what is my sanity? I make that 30.
Okay, you don't lose any sanity. You've seen a body stuffed in a fridge before.
I used to work in Miami.
What?
No, that sounds legit.
Yeah, sure.
Booksellers in Miami makes sense.
There's a hotline there. Yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. I assume you're telling us.
Anyone hungry?
What did you find, Jane?
Dinner.
I'm going to take a look.
Wait, I stop him.
What?
Just make sure that you steel your stomach before you take a peek in there. It's a bit of a horror show.
Is it a
Okay.
Is it a body?
Yes, actually, alphabetically organized. Very neat, I must say.
44. That's a critical success.
All right.
Oh yeah, totally fine.
Yeah, we've got a body in here, and it's in pieces. Christ. I'm assuming that's what's on the cutting board as well.
So he went.
Cannibal.
He holed himself up here. Did a fuck ton of drugs, hallucinogenics, whatever the fuck you want to find it, whatever you can get your hands on in the Pacific Northwest. Loses his mind, kills someone that comes up here, eats them.
And
Now here we are.
yeah.
So are you all hanging out in the kitchen now? Like,
no, I'm gonna stay. I'm just yelling from the room.
Alton's just screaming at you. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
Did
keep
we-
that guy out of my sight.
Do we know if there have been any missing persons reports in the area?
I mean,
criminology?
it's. I'm sure there's plenty of missing peoples all around this area. It's nothing but mountains and forests. So,
Yeah.
what can I determine from the remains?
The body is an unidentified male whose features seem vaguely familiar to you for some reason. It can't have been in here for more than a few hours, which leads one to wonder where the parts come from.
Oh, wait.
As you poke around, it seems like something is stuffed in the mouth of the dismembered head.
Okay, well, would I have a
Grab some
forensics
tongs.
kit?
Get in there.
I mean, yeah, assuming you have it's like something that you could fit in your pockets or like small gear. Like, yeah.
Okay, I will slap on some rubber gloves and dig into the head's mouth.
Mm.
Inside the mouth of this dismembered head is a crammed, like a folded up piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
And very carefully unraveling it, you can see that there's some text on it. It's in a rough, like handwritten scrawl that just says, "Now the real game begins."
Oh, great. I show it to Jane.
Okay. So you turn around to show it to Jane, and she's not there. In
Wait,
fact, nothing
what?
that you thought was there is there. You're standing outside, and it's actually kind of rather pleasant. Maybe it's spring. Everything seems warm. There's plenty of sunshine. The trees sway gently in the breeze. But you're not actually standing. You're sitting. You're sitting at some kind of table outside. There's a bunch of other tables and chairs around you. And you realize that you're at the front of a storefront. It's like things are like coming into the scene as you look at them. Like they don't exist until you look at them. And you're at some kind of like outdoor restaurant where people seem to be enjoying lunch. And then you look across the table from you and you're actually sitting with someone. Rather pleasant looking woman is sitting there staring at you expectantly.
Well, don't let her down.
Hi.
Hey, Jack, it's really nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
You probably don't remember me, do you? I'm sorry, your mom set this whole thing up. Well, your mom and your brother, really. I mean, you know how they kind of play matchmaker. I mean, they said you'd be back in town, and we always just hit things off. So I'm not being awkward, am I?
No, you're not. I'm totally blanking. What was your name again?
Annie?
Annie,
You
it's
know, I
very nice to see
used to
you.
live down from you and your parents, you know?
Yeah,
Like, we had
no,
house
it's
together.
I'm just having one of those days. It's great to see you again, Annie. Yeah.
Hey, I know you're probably worrying about it, but your brother said he already took care of the bills, so you don't. I know money's a little tight after the stuff from the book dried up, and by the way, we're all huge fans of your work here in Calamity Falls.
I'd appreciate you not bringing up the book.
Sorry. I didn't know if it was a sore spot.
Yeah. Can you excuse me for just one moment? I have to go use the little boy's room.
You hear a voice, maybe from behind you, or maybe in front of you, or maybe just kind of everywhere. It's kind of like when you're at a concert and you just hear music in the hallways once you leave the main venue, like they're piping it in from somewhere.
Mhm.
It's just an angry voice shouting, "Wrong! It's all wrong! Can't you just... Oh my... This scene is important and you're fucking it up."
Oh, am I?
Okay, as you move to turn around, you bump into the body of Jack Knight, who's glaring at you very angrily, and he seems somehow larger and more menacing than before.
I punch him in the throat.
Are. Okay. You don't want to dodge or anything?
Fight or
You just
flight?
just want to fight? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna punch him in the throat.
Can we have you roll unarmed?
Yeah. That is 19 out of 60.
Okay, so you slam him right in the throat, and it doesn't do anything to stop him.
God damn
If
it.
anything, it makes him angrier, and he raises the knife that's in his left hand. Now you're going to be real fucking sorry.
All right, it's time to go for that grapple check.
Okay. What'd you get?
I got literally like the worst possible roll. I got a 99.
Oh!
So very easily, he grabs you and pins you to the table. And while everyone looks on, they all kind of like fuzz out a little as he slips the knife up under your chin.
Ah!
And then you don't remember anything. You wake back up and you're lying on the floor of the kitchen. Ada, what had happened is you saw the marshal turn to say something to you and just collapsed onto the floor.
Okay. I kneel down. I prop his head up so that he doesn't choke on anything. Hey, Johnson! You with me?
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah.
You know where you are?
I'm in Knight's cabin, right?
Right. Who's president?
Don't talk about that.
Can you help me up?
Right. Look, Johnson. If the tea thing is going to be that much of a problem,
No.
it's a joke.
Don't.
Johnson. It's a joke. Christ, we're professionals, but we can still laugh, can't we?
Yeah. Don't read anything you find in any more heads.
What are you talking about?
I read the note in the mouth, and then I was at dinner with some girl who thought I was Jack Knight.
No, you weren't. You were right here the whole time.
I blacked out, right? I fell?
Yeah. Quick as
Okay.
a snap. Just done, down. That's it.
In that time, I was suddenly at a dinner, or like a lunch or something, a date, with some girl named Annie in town who thought I was Jack Knight. And then that asshole showed up and stabbed me. And now I'm back here.
Okay. So you're saying that... Let me get this
Don't
straight.
read anything you find stuffed in mouths.
We need to do our job, but just let me get this straight. You had a vision that you were Jack Knight,
Uh-huh.
and then Jack Knight shows up and kills you,
Uh-huh.
presumably, who is Jack Knight.
Yeah.
Jesus. This is taking Death of the Author a bit too far. Like I said, joke, laugh.
Ha.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, just be careful what you read. All right. I don't. I look back at the body in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything more like recognizable about the remains?
No.
Okay. I checked the freezer.
It's just the fridge. Like, there's not an attached freezer. It's just a really big fridge.
Okay. You want to go check some of the other rooms?
I think I do. I think you should take a sit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out into the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Back into the main cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you find Marshal Alton sitting there by himself, checking out the papers on the desk.
Wait,
Is Jack not there?
There's just Marshal Alton in this room.
Wait, I was specifically saying I was keeping an eye on. Or is this okay?
Smith.
Not there anymore.
Smith.
Like, you just glanced down for a second, but he's just not there.
Where is he, Smith?
The fuck? All right, he clearly has unnatural powers, so we should kill him on sight.
Yeah, no shit. I just read a note I found in a head, and I was at a dinner date with some girl named Annie, and the guy shows up and tries to kill me.
All right, I found a woodworking kit. You know, some of these weird things are powered by, carvings or sigils or things that are. So this cabin is wood. Maybe he's carved things in here that, as long as we're in the cabin, we're affected by it. So we should look for weird symbols carved into the cabin. I'm gonna start tossing the bookshelf, just tossing books out, seeing if anything weird pops up.
Do you want to know what the books you're throwing around are, or do you?
I'll look at the titles, but that's it. Just on the spine.
Okay.
I'm not going to read.
So there isn't anything specifically like in the shelf itself.
Yeah.
It's not like he carved things into the shelf or anything like that. And the books you're throwing around seem to be mostly horror novels, books on law, and a few scientific books on time and the nature of the universe.
Okay.
And you can investigate those further if you would like.
I'm also going to check, look behind, move the shelf a little bit to see if there's nothing behind the wall.
Yeah, I assume you're gonna push through and look at the back of it, and then get somebody to look on the bottom. He has not carved anything into the shelf.
Okay. There's nothing hidden back there. Well, we're dealing with some crazy shit already. I gotta be paranoid. All right. So there's the bookshelves. I've already checked the desk. And then there's the fire. Does it look like there's anything been burned in the fireplace?
Do you want to check out the fireplace?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a very smoky fire burns in the hearth. There's evidence that wood might have been stacked up before, but there's precious few logs now. The fire seems to be partially fed by heavy manuscripts, a few stacks of which are piled next to the logs.
So, there's some things that haven't been burned yet.
Yeah, there's a couple of extra manuscripts sitting there that haven't been burned yet.
Okay. I glance at their titles. Anything?
Cursory reading suggests that these are copies of whatever recent book Knight has been peddling.
Mm-hmm.
Large sections have been blacked out by a dark marker, making much of it unreadable. The cover pages are simply titled "My Final Novel."
Huh. Okay. And there's nothing stuck between the pages or anything.
No, it's just like the huge ass stapled together.
Okay.
The big industrial staples.
Okay. And there's nothing near. Okay, well, yeah, I'll just keep. I'll search everything else in the room, and then we'll move on, I guess. But
do you want to go back and take a look at the books you pulled out of the shelf there?
Oh yeah. I'll give them another glance over, especially the non-horror novel ones.
Okay, so you want to start with the scientific books or the law books?
The scientific books.
These are almost complete garbage. While there are some multiverse for dummies type books in the pile, a surprising number are sociology or group psychology books. The overarching themes of the latter books deal in the idea of shared reality, mimetic mutation, as well as a pop culture focused book documenting the viral phenomena of public discourse.
Okay. Interesting. And then the law books?
They seem to be largely devoted to the complicated and, frankly, impenetrable nature of copyright law. Some well-known rulings and filings have been highlighted. A small number of these books include laws related to national security and spy programs, including binders of printed out texts of various secrecy and non-disclosure laws in the United States and its allies.
Oh, okay. But no smoking gun. Nothing. All right. So this guy shared realities. So he's got some way to inflict a shared reality or an hallucination on other people. Is what it sounds like. There's some sort of trigger that we don't know what it is yet. So
Are you saying this to me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just like glazed over as you spout all this bullshit at me.
Well, it's not good what he's doing. So we need to find him and put a stop to this. But we can't burn anything yet until we're sure that this is the extent of the infection. I haven't seen any. So we need to keep looking for him.
I'm going to open up the front door and just double check outside, see if there's any fresh footprints.
No, just the footprints of you coming up the way, which are slowly being filled in by new snow.
Right. Great.
There's still more books on the bookshelf to check. You got to look at the fictional ones.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll look at them too.
Okay. The horror novels are the completed works of noted horror author Sutter Kane, including titles like The Whisperer in the Dark, Haunter Out of Time, and The Thing in the Basement. The copies are dog-eared and well-read.
Well, that's... Yeah. Okay. Great.
Can I have you roll search while you're looking through these books?
Sure. Got that at 50%. I'll use the Discord, RPPR Discord for that. And I got a 25.
Okay. Among the rest of the books, you find a sort of local encyclopedia or travel book. While most of the lore contained relates to the city of Calamity Falls, there's a few sections describing the Knight family. They have a surprisingly long lineage of academics, librarians, and occasionally politicians. The Knight family is described as having, quote, the gift of communication, making unlikely allies and being excellent storytellers. There's a modest paragraph devoted to Jack Knight himself, largely on his reclusive cabin and semi-successful horror writing career.
Okay, so the entire family's really good at communicating. So that's a lead. We may have to double check them to investigate them later on and make sure that they're not a threat as well. And we can't eliminate the possibility that there maybe one or more of them are actually here hiding and helping him. Maybe that's how they got away. Oh, we still need to look for the attic. There's a key that's labeled attic. I mean, we should look for some sort of lock that this goes to.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess if we search everything in this room, move on.
The other stuff you have isn't technically in this room. You've got the letters that.
I'm gonna just tear those open. Fuck it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
from the mailbox. Yeah.
Do you want
That's what I do. I mutter something about a federal offense, and
Do you want to read all of them?
I'm just gonna gloss over them, see if there's anything that really jumps out at me. But I'm not
The
gonna.
letter
go
addressed to the utility company is a standard issue form.
Mm-hmm.
Curiously, where an indication of payment should be, there's merely the text scrawled, "Keep it all turned on," in an angry hand with an involved, laborious scrawl. The envelopes to the congressman, the envelopes themselves have been stamped "Return to sender" at least twice each and haven't been opened.
Does the scrawl on the utilities match the same scrawl on the mouth note?
Mm-hmm.
Where were they addressed to?
They're addressed to the congressional representative. There's also the letter to the Library of Congress and a personal letter marked "Return to sender."
Why would they return to sender if they were addressed?
Let's open up the return to sender ones first.
Okay. Did it say why? Did it say why it was returned to sender? It was like insufficient postage or like?
No.
Okay.
The letter marked "Return to sender" the personal letter has been marked "Return to sender" in a loopy, erratic scrawl. Opening the envelope, you find it is a rather personal note from Garrett Knight to his brother Jack, pleading with him to abandon, quote, "the spooky old cabin and to let the ghost inside finally come to rest."
I hand that to Agent Alton
Okay.
and just kind of give him a look. Jane, are you still here?
Am I?
You were in the kitchen. I don't know if you followed them to the cabin or not.
No.
I mean, I just say that very loudly in the main room to make sure she hasn't just like disappeared into the house.
I was going to go inspect other rooms.
Okay. The other rooms that you have a choice of is the bathroom and the bedroom.
I'll inspect the bedroom.
The bedroom door is locked.
I'll kick it down.
Well, wait. Okay. We could try that key to see if maybe...
Can I have you roll your strength times 5?
Strength times 5! I make it. 34.
The lock shatters and the whole handle comes apart as the door swings open.
Mm-hmm.
The space it opens up to is only wide enough to accommodate the door itself, but otherwise it's completely empty. As you stand there staring at it in surprise, the door swings slowly back shut and clicks as the newly reformed lock and handle secures everything in place.
God damn it.
Okay, I go back to the living room.
I think that's the
Guys?
sand check.
Mm-hmm. Can I have you roll your...
I fail.
Okay, so you take 1 point of sanity damage.
Sweet.
Because doors don't fix themselves.
No, they don't.
And genuinely, they open to where they say they're going to open to.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be the wrong sign, but...
Mhm.
Johnson?
Smith,
Yeah? What is it?
you...
What?
how's the search going?
Not well. Not well. There are,
Where's, oh, fuck.
the
He
target.
disappeared.
Yeah, he
How does he just disappear?
just
I
blinked
don't
out of
know.
existence. I mean, we're dealing with someone who's clearly connected to...
I snatched the
unnatural.
return to sender note from Altum and hand it to Jane, or Ada.
What's it say?
It's the note from Garrett to his brother Jack, pleading him to abandon the spooky old cabin and let the ghost inside finally come to rest.
It's a fucking ghost story.
There's something here.
Yeah. Again, be on the lookout for something carved that might be the source of contamination. But we should. I have a key. Well, because he has a woodworking kit, and this cabin's made out of wood. He's been carving something.
How common are basements in that part of the country?
I mean, he might have a storm cellar.
Yeah,
or a root
it
cellar
might have some kind of cellar, but usually if you have a cellar, it would be
outside.
outside.
Did we
Okay,
see
you would have
a-
some
Like a
sort of
cellar to
outside
store
exit.
things is not weird.
and we
But like,
we didn't see a cellar.
Yeah.
door.
yeah, you wandered around the back and you didn't see a cellar door. So if
Okay.
there is a basement, it would have to be somewhere inside.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that would be a possibility. Also, just because we didn't see a cellar door outside doesn't mean that the magical self-repairing door house doesn't have a cellar.
All right. First off, come with me. We'll go to that door. I have a key. Let's see if it works on it.
I think that we should all stick together.
That's what I'm saying. We all stick together, and I'll try the key.
Right.
I want to pull up the bearskin rug.
You want to pull up the bearskin rug?
Yes.
Oh, in the hallway.
No, the one that's in the room that we're in.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I thought that was all right. Yeah.
Removing the rug reveals the door set in the floor itself. Amusingly, it too has a placard. It reads, "The Basement." There's a hole where a handle should be. Hooking a figure into it and pulling doesn't seem to help. You'll need something that can be inserted into the slot and help you lift the door. Additionally, there's a keyhole, but it doesn't seem to be connected to the door itself at all. Rather, it sits adjacent to the placard.
When I discover the door, I just kind of look at the other two and give them the biggest shit-eating grin I can muster.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll have to come back to this.
Yeah. I'll just check the key that I have on that lock just to see if it fits.
Yeah, because of course the attic's going to go to the basement,
Well,
right? That's
we're
just what makes sense.
process
right?
of
That's just how
elimination.
it works.
Process
The
of
attic-
elimination.
The attic key fits, but doesn't turn.
Okay, so we're looking for another key that looks like this one. It's probably going to be
Maybe.
labeled. I mean,
Wait a second. I've
Like
played
when you
this game
try to
before.
turn it, there's like a force that pushes back on
right. All right.
No, there's like a force that pushes back on it when you try and turn it.
You put the key in the hole, and then a little finger pushes the key back out.
Okay. Well, that's a thing. So we'll just have to come back. We'll have to put a pin on that, and let's try this other door first.
I have to find some fucking gems to put him in a
So
statue
you want
to
to try
get
the
the
key
goddamn
in the
key.
bedroom door?
Yeah, the self-repairing door.
It doesn't.
So about the door here, you should maybe should
I was just
here.
gonna,
Check this out. Can I kick the door open again?
Yeah, you can kick the door open again.
I believed you the first time. You didn't have to tell me again.
Do you want to kick the door open again?
Yeah, I want to kick the door open again.
Yeah, you just smash it open, and it fits into a space that is literally exactly the dimensions of the door when it's open. Like, it is a super tight fit. And then it swings itself shut and fixes itself.
Could we see past it briefly?
Yeah, it opens into a space big enough for the door, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's
There's nothing
like a
else
little,
there. Okay.
little
right.
closet just for the door.
All right.
If I ever build my own house, I'm going to
What
put
happens
one
if
of
we
those.
take the door off its hinges?
The key does not fit into this door.
Okay. All right. Well, that solves that. So either
There's no like attic access, like one of the like little pull strings or anything like
No.
that in the hallway, right?
No, and physically, there should not be an attic in this building.
Well, there shouldn't be a cellar either, but or a basement. But yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say? Okay. I will. Let's see here. So we look. Yeah, but I mean, we'll go through and look at the roof in every room to make sure there's not some crazy attic door that we just happened to miss earlier.
Where are you checking for the attic door?
We'll just go in every room. I mean, there's not that
All
many
right,
rooms.
bathroom next. Haven't checked there.
So you want to go? Okay. So do you want to poke around? You don't want to poke around the kitchen more. You want to go to the bathroom?
I mean, we're just looking for the attic door. It can't take us more than a minute or two to just look up at every roof and see
Okay.
if there's an attic door.
So the bathroom.
Yeah.
This room is as unappealing as the rest of the house, yet more so. It contains the standard sink, medicine cabinet, toilet, and bathtub. The entire place looks like it could have seen better days, in stark contrast to the rather well-kept nature of the front of the cabin. The sink and the toilet don't look too bad, but the bathtub is nightmarish. Thick, blackish-brown stains coat the entirety of the inside, and it seems to spill out onto the floor. You can't imagine anyone has used it for bathing in quite some time.
Okay.
And there is nothing on the ceiling other than, like, a light fixture.
Okay.
Is there a mirror?
It's part of the medicine cabinet.
Okay. I pop up in the medicine cabinet to see if there's like medication or anything.
Okay. Daily use items make their appearance here. Headache medicine, shaving cream, razors, and a key. The label states only for emergencies.
Well, gentlemen, I'd say this is an emergency.
Would you? I mean, this is.
Would you not?
I mean, we're thinking about the person who wrote that. That's Jack. Would Jack consider this an emergency? So,
What does a person make something for when it's for an emergency? Do you think they make it thinking, oh, I'll only use this in case in an emergency, and if I don't use it during an emergency, everything goes to shit? No, usually when something says only for an emergency, it's an expensive get out of jail free card, right?
all right. Well, we don't know. Well, I can still hear myself. We don't know what he considers an emergency. Is my point. And we don't know
Who
what
gives
it
a
will
shit?
do. Well, if we
I'm
can
taking-
make things worse. You're like,
Worse than
Okay.
it is.
yeah. I mean,
We've lost the target.
Give me the keys. Give me the keys.
both of them.
Di-
Both of you. Yes.
Okay.
I
Oh,
compare
please, like, you're the one that's the most level-headed in this situation. Mr. looks at a head and faints.
Just hand me the keys, please.
Fucking fine. Cry baby.
All right.
I will hold up the keys and compare them.
They're completely different keys.
Okay. I kind of want. I'll hand the keys back to their respective finders, and I'm going to go look in the oven.
You want to go look in the oven?
Yeah.
So you've decided the bathtub is interesting. Okay. The oven is just a regular oven. I mean, like you kind of have to finish pulling the door off because it's not attached very well. And the inside is just like a bunch of soot.
Okay. I want to like pat around, make sure there's not another hidden key
It
in
is
here.
super gross in here. You're just getting your gloves dirty.
I wipe it off on the wall. Okay. Is anybody going to look in the bathtub while I'm digging around in an oven?
Yep.
The ego covering the bathtub is disgusting. It's dried now, but you get the idea that it was rather greasy or oily. There's a familiar coppery smell to it, and you can't help but assume the worst. Curiously, the drain seems to be clogged with some kind of foreign object.
Yes, curiously.
What does the foreign object look like?
Kind of hard to tell. It looks like a handle that you might be able to grasp.
Like something that could fit in
If
the
somebody
basement
wants
door?
to take the effort to try and
I
pull it out.
frown, reach in, and grasp the handle.
Okay. It takes some effort to wrench free, but there's a meat hook buried in the drain.
Okay.
It's rusted, but the echor on it is fresher than what's dried in the tub. There's something stuck to it, rolled up and speared by the hook.
Of course there is.
Do you want to examine it?
Yeah.
It turns out to be echor-covered paper, possibly
Oh.
something related to vellum. There's writing etched into it, like it was done by a series of jabs or scratches with a short blade. It seems to tell a fragment of a larger story, told in a very clinical account of a terminal and sudden onset cancer.
Huh. All right.
Aw.
Well, I take the paper off, grab the hook, gesture it to or at Alton.
Okay.
Alton.
So you turn to gesture to your friends,
Oh,
and
good.
then you realize that you're not exactly standing in the bathroom anymore. You're not 100% sure where you're standing. There's a methodical beeping noise, just like a beep, 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 like a heart monitor. And you can actually see that now. There's a heart monitor, and there's an IV, and there's a bed. You're in some kind of room, like in a hospital. There's a big bay window that opens out to look at the city. And of course, there's a locked, or not a locked, but like a closed door behind you. And you find that you're standing in this hospital room with an older looking woman laying on the bed. And she doesn't seem to be doing very well. Her breathing is very ragged. And as you look down, you notice that you're holding her hand.
Okay. Okay.
I know this isn't how we expected things to go, but I'm glad you came down to see me. You know, the way your brother was talking, I didn't think you'd want to come back, but you don't really get on good terms with him anymore, do you?
No. Can you blame me for what he did?
Jack, someday you've got to learn to let that go.
Look, by my count of things, I was in the right. What? Maybe I should get another opinion on it. What's your account of things?
You decided to be a writer. Garrett wanted to be a politician. There's just not money in writing horror books. I mean, you're such a smart kid, Jack. Couldn't you have... I'm sorry. Couldn't you have worked on, I don't know, something more hopeful?
What? Hopeful or not, why couldn't he become a politician if I'm a writer? I don't see the issue here.
No, no one wants to read your books anymore, Jack. People have had it with all of this scary stuff.
I don't care.
You get that stubborn streak from your father.
Well, he's dead and gone, so someone needs to be stubborn, don't they?
He died? When?
Sorry,
He was just here.
He was hit by a car.
And then you hear that, like, weird voice that's like, super fucking irritating. He's like, God damn it! Do I need to give you stage direction or something? Like, nobody fucking dies in this scene!
Well, clearly you didn't read the stage directions, because as I have it, your father just died.
I thought all of you, maybe you would have some kind of clever ideas, but you're just fucking everything up.
Fucking what up? As far as I know, we're up here to get some drugged up Arthur off of his... get some drugged up Arthur out of his cabin and possibly kill him.
Oh, no. The only one dying in this scene is going to be you. And
That's
then
a shitty scene.
Jack is just there, and he's holding a very clean and very menacing-looking meat hook.
Oh. Oh, no. All right, I'm going to try to go down fighting.
Okay.
That's a 68. I barely make my unarmed combat check.
Okay, so you sucker punch him, and you feel like it would have worked out great had it not been for the fact that he's armed and you're not, and he seems to be some kind of killer ghost man. Because your punch connects with him, and he barely seems to feel it. But that meat hook, you can definitely feel that as it enters in the side of your neck and just completely rips out your jugular. You fall to the ground, and you're staring upwards at the hospital ceiling as you're bleeding out, and you can feel that hook pierce into your flesh and hook under your collarbone. And then you're just being dragged out of the hospital room and out of the hospital completely. The ceiling kind of shifts into like more of like a wood grain, and it almost kind of feels like you're back in the cabin. And then you wake up in the cabin. You're lying on the floor of the bathroom.
I bolt up.
To everybody else in the bathroom, she was going to turn around and hand you something, and then she just collapsed to the ground.
All right. I try to catch her.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right.
Whoa.
Nope. We need to get the fuck out of here. This is...
No.
Okay.
We can't go.
Why? Why can't we go?
Because we're clearly contaminated by whatever he's doing, and we just make it worse.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. We need to find that fucker and take him apart piece by piece.
Yeah, what happened?
Okay. Blacked out. I was in some sort of hospital with his sad mum who's dying of cancer. She said something about how he and his brother didn't get along, how Jack wanted Gavin, whatever his name is, his brother wanted him to go into politics. It's a confusing family situation. But he seems like he's trying to get us to play a part.
Did he appear? Did Jack appear?
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Slipped a fucking meat hook right into my neck.
Okay, so that's the same pattern that happened to Johnson.
Yes.
So, picking up, reading some piece of paper connected to violence. Dead body, meat hook. Seems to be a way, but why is he making us relive his life? Like, why are we trying to retell his personal story?
I don't know why his story. You'd think he'd want to tell a different.
Well, or he wants to fix his story. He wants to change how his life is written. He wants to increase the pathos, or make it happier, or make the other people in his. But you're playing him, so he's not happy with how he did in that life. He wants us to be actors for him. Doesn't seem.
As far as I can tell, he wanted me to do what he did.
Wait, he wants us to be him. He's trying to make us into him.
Why?
Well, because if the world is only him, then he doesn't have to worry about being a failure anymore. It's like...
Is this some sort of fucked up being John Malkovich situation?
Yeah, I think so, kinda. He wants us he wants to erase us and make us into copies of him.
Just doesn't... I don't...
Yeah.
That sounds a little
Maybe
too
we need
far-fetched.
more information, but we need to...
All right, only for emergencies. I'd say it's a fucking emergency.
The meat hook. We could try and use that to open the basement door.
Right. Yes, but your key didn't work.
Well, there's just that hole in it. Maybe we can just pull it open with the meat hook.
All right, meat hook first, key next.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to try the key on any place. You want to go do the meat hook?
Well, I mean, the
Yes.
key, the emergency key there's only 2 keyholes that we found, the basement.
I've got an idea
the-
for another keyhole.
What?
Every house has a lock, doesn't it?
Oh, the outside lock? Yeah, we could try and use it on the front door. I mean,
You could also try the bedroom door.
yeah, so there's technically 3 locks we could try. But let's try the basement first. 'Cause
There's 2 locks. There's the bedroom door and the basement door.
there's no front.
okay.
There's
The
no
front side just bolts shut from the inside.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let's try the basement first. Because from what I remember, the basement door has a hole in it that we could just pull open if we use the meat hook. It sounds like.
Here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to insert the meat hook, try to open the door. The 2 of you going to be standing to my left and right, guns ready.
No.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Great.
So you insert the meat hook, and it does actually swing into the thing. And when you get it in there, it clicks against something, like there was some kind of mechanism that was holding the basement doors shut. But with the meat hook, it just trips that, and you can lift them up, and it reveals a pair of stairs that head downwards.
All right.
Gentlemen first.
Damn it.
Flashlight and gun ready. I'm getting too old for this shit.
The stairs down into the basement are dark and dusty. They creak horribly, ominously even. The basement is small, more a cellar dug into the dirt than anything else. It's a sight to be sure. There's a workbench, a locker against one wall, a tarp on the floor, and very, very little else. The walls are stacked with brick to keep out the dirt, and they must be as old as the cabin itself. Maybe this space would have been used to keep chilled food, because it's certainly cold down here. The heat from the rest of the house doesn't seem to penetrate.
Okay.
Ada, are you staying up top just in case something, closes the trap door?
Oh yeah, maybe put a.
Smart idea, gladly.
Maybe someone should stay on the stairs, like halfway in each one, to make sure that no one can sneak up on us.
All right, old man, you get that job.
All right.
And I'm going to search around the basement.
Okay. The obvious things that you can investigate are the workbench, the tarp, and the locker.
Well, let's go look at the tarp.
A tarp lays on the floor opposite the bench. It's covered in a dried Icarus substance.
Huh. Well, that solves that question.
Do you want to fuck with it at all?
I'm going to lift it up, see if there's anything underneath it.
Underneath the tarp, on the concrete floor, is a phrase carved repeatedly, hundreds of times. Need better stories.
Here we go.
It's written by the queer community? Hell!
Okay. Yeah, you sure do, buddy. I'm gonna drop the tarp.
Okay.
Let's go look at the workbench.
Okay. Against one wall is the workbench. It looks like something you'd use as a carpenter or maybe as a hunter. It's a thick, sturdy table with a few clamps attached to it. The dried blood on it is unmistakable, and there's more than a dozen deep scores along the surface. The bench is well used. Something about it seems odd. Can I have you roll search?
Why, sure. Well, that's bad. 91 out of 70.
There's something wrong with this bench, but you can't figure out what it is.
Take a smarter man than me to figure this out. Yeah, I'm gonna look. Is it? Does it have like drawers on it, or is it just like a tabletop and then open underneath, just like on legs?
Yeah, it's like a thick kind of tape. Like it's got one of those like skirts or whatever. Like there's like wood that comes down.
Right.
Like, it's not just
Okay. I want to look like up underneath the workbench, kind of see if there's anything inside
Feeling
of it.
around underneath it, you don't feel like there's anything taped to it or anything like that.
Okay. Do any of the like score marks in the top like form any sort of like symbols or anything like that, or is it just random?
They don't seem to form any recognizable pattern.
Okay.
You can always have a friend come help you look too.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
I'm
wanna
gonna head.
Go fuck yourself.
I'll
Yeah.
switch places with him and search myself.
Yeah.
Nope, I failed too.
Ugh.
It was 50%.
You fucking idiots. All right.
I mean, you can try.
And what is this? Alertness?
Search.
Search. And what is my search? 20? Yeah, I make that with an 11.
Okay.
That's a great
Some scuff marks on the floor suggest that the table has been turned around.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Muscle, flip it, I say, and then flip it myself.
Okay. There's a drawer here. And inside the pull-out drawer of the workbench is a ledger simply labeled Library Stories. It's a huge
Library?
list of volume numbers, filling up the 100 or so pages of the ledger. Many are crossed out with a red pen.
Library stories.
Library Stories.
Huh.
What data does it have about those stories? Sorry.
It's just the volume numbers,
Okay.
and a lot of them have been crossed out with a red pen.
We didn't see any
Huh.
books upstairs that had like
No, they're not ISBN numbers.
Okay. Well, I mean, there weren't any like handwritten journals or books
Nope.
labeled volume 1, 2, or 3,
Mm-mm.
or whatever. All right. That's an interesting problem. What do we do? And there's no other information. Is there anything else in the cellar?
There's the locker.
Oh, is the locker unlocked or?
It's a metal locker locked by a simple padlock. If you want to investigate it, you'll need a means of opening it.
Try the key or
Key?
try both
What do you
keys.
mean?
The keys do not fit into the lock.
Okay.
Are there so padlock, how many number combination is this?
It's a key.
That's a really simple one. If somebody has criminology, you could attempt to open it that way.
I have
By
criminology.
like
Okay.
cracking it.
I don't think I have criminology. Let me see.
I do.
Actually.
I have criminology at 70.
Oh, I have criminology at 50, but you're the criminal here, it looks like.
Yep. Give it a shot.
Okay.
All right. I'm rolling really bad today. Yeah. I do
All right,
not make
I'll
it.
give it a try.
Okay.
That is a 15.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of janky, but you managed to figure out the combination by like, holding your ear up to it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you click it off and you open it. And neatly arranged on the rows of shelves inside the locker
geez.
are pieces of human bodies.
Great.
Arms, legs, and bits of torso are organized categorically. And it's hard to
Great.
tell exactly how many people this locker contains. Curiously, the skin of many of these pieces seem to be flayed, pulled back from this flesh. Can I have you roll another sanity check?
Yep. I fail.
Okay, you take 1 point of sanity damage because this dude is literally just keeping fucking lockers of people.
Why? Okay. They're flayed too, right?
Yes, like the skin has been deliberately cut away from the flesh and peeled back.
Right.
So somebody can investigate that if they would like to.
Sure. What skill would that be?
Forensics, probably.
Yeah, forensics or just search would be okay.
All right.
I'll let you roll whatever you feel like.
Get out of there.
I make search.
The peeled back flesh contains markings on the underside of the skin, likely made with a sharp object.
Like woodworking tools.
In a crude and scrawling hand, they contain words that spell out clinical accounts of everyday life. Here's an example of the kind of things they say. 30 years old, male, investigating the cabin on suspicions of insurance fraud, unaware that night is inside, ambushed easily, bled out within seconds of receiving a knife wound to the neck.
How many body parts are there? How many bodies would this put together?
Easily a dozen or more.
Jesus.
That's
There must be parts somewhere else because obviously like the whole bodies aren't in here, but like there's a lot of right hands and things like that. Like
Okay.
it can't all come from the same person.
right. Yeah. That's the kind of thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we just need to kill this guy. Maybe if we destroy these writings, that would weaken his power.
What the fuck? What are you talking about?
I'm just
Alton,
thinking.
you turn around to suggest your plan of attack to your friends.
Yeah.
You're not in the basement anymore. You're kind of just in like, it's kind of like a pleasantly looking like apartment room, but like it's like really, really small. And it's like kind of like a studio, but like a little bit nicer and a little bit shittier at the same time. There's like a couch. There's like a table with a bowl of like old looking candies in it. And then it starts to dawn on you that maybe this is kind of like an assisted living facility or like maybe a hospice or something like that. It's like a furnished apartment for maybe that kind of thing. There's like a counter with a couple cupboards and there's like chips or whatever on it. But you're standing by a bed and there's a man laying in the bed. And he doesn't mean anything to you. You don't think you've seen him anywhere before, but he's looking at you like very intently. And he's working his mouth like he's trying to say something to you. And it takes him a little while before he finally coughs out, "Jack."
Father, you were right. My brother was right. I was a fool. I was wrong. Writing horror novels was so bad of me. I can't believe I wasted my life like that. If only I'd gone into politics like my brother. I was such a fool, and I would just put my heart into this. I can't believe I've gone insane from spending so much time in the woods.
Is that why you finally came to see me?
Yes.
You finally saw better of it?
Yes, I did. I was a fool to write these novels. I can't believe I did this.
Jack.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I don't have much time left, Jack, but I hope you can patch things up with your brother. Take him up to that cabin you're always at. Do one of those fishing trips you used to when you were younger.
Shit.
Yes, I'll do it for you, Father. I'll do it for you.
Have you ever read a fucking book in your life?
Isn't this what you wanted?
This is not. No one's gonna want this. Nobody can. How is this narratively interesting?
Because it's part of his character arc.
What character arc? What leading up to this would lead you to believe this is how it goes down?
Well, if there's a problem, it's with the script.
Amateurs. Next time you're gonna be better. Next time you'll all be a little bit smarter.
A poor craftsman blames his tools, not himself. It's your fault.
Tools.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a tool,
Well,
Marshall?
I jump out the window. I
Okay.
run. I just, yeah.
So you defenestrate yourself,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because you're on the 10th story.
Oh no!
And you fall and you fall and you smash into a car below. But like, it's not the end of your existence. You're kind of just laying there and you can't move and you're all smashed up and bleeding. And then you see Jack lean over you and he's holding that meat hook.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're a failure, Marshall. Maybe the next one wasn't going to be so shitty." And he digs the meat hook into your throat and then he's pulling you off the car. And he's pulling you along the ground and you're looking up at the sky and then you're looking up at the ceiling to the cabin. And then he's pulling you and you're being pulled out of the cabin and you're going across the porch and down the walk. And then he lifts you and throws you and you land in a pile of something in the snow, staring up at the night sky. And you wake up in the basement. Everyone else, it looks like he was going to turn around and talk to you, and then he just collapsed to the floor.
Hey, Alton.
I made my sanity check. I went ahead and did that, but yeah, it happened to me too.
You had your turn. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you see? Put it together.
The father dying in a nursing home. I tried to go into it to reconcile, but that's not what he wanted. He didn't explain.
So what does he want then?
He doesn't explain. He just thinks he blames others for his failures. So maybe, and given his propensity for violence, maybe he just wants us to punish his family. Go all fucking Nine Inch Nails on music video on them.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
All right. Well, yeah. We still don't know how to stop it.
Well, is this an emergency?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, we don't have any other ideas.
Great.
Yeah. Let's try it on the bedroom door.
Okay. So you use the emergency key on the bedroom, and the door unlocks. And when you open it, it opens into a small, cramped room, barely more than 2 broom closets put together. There's a bed here, of course, and a small nightstand.
Mm-hmm.
The covers are disturbed, suggesting that this bed at least sees use for what it's intended. Really, the oddest thing in here is the pages and pages of paper nailed to the wall.
Okay. Is there a page I can inspect that does not have writing on it?
No.
I take one for the team.
Okay. The papers remind you of dried animal skin, perhaps. Yep. Incredibly old and bleached white. There's maybe 6 dozen nailed to the wall in total, but together or alone, they don't make any sense. They're fragments of a larger story, or maybe multiple stories. They are describing a battle with childhood illness on some pages, the deterioration of a woman battling with cancer, and many unsuccessful meetings with someone called the Storyteller. If you would like to roll like bureaucracy or like libraries or something like that, you can.
Bureaucracy.
Okay.
14!
Okay, and so investigating the papers further, the Storyteller seems to be the only clear thread. While these pages seem pulled from at least 3 stories involving unrelated characters, the Storyteller is a figure that remains constant in each of them. Specifically, there's an emphasis on either meeting the Storyteller or having just met the Storyteller. The pages don't describe anything that happened in these meetings.
Interesting. But never... So it's always either leading up to or having come from.
Is there an attic access here?
No. But you can check out the nightstand in the bed.
I will look at the nightstand.
The nightstand has a to-do list written on it, with some items checked off. The checked items include clean the fridge, lock the attic, tidy up in the library, replace kitchen placard. The item that is yet to be finished says, set the table for my guests.
Huh. I want to go out into the hallway and take a look at the placards. And see if any of them look like they might be able to like come off.
Yeah, you can pull them off.
Okay. I tossed the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to remove? The kitchen or the bathroom?
The bathroom.
All right. So you pull the door closed and you pull off the placard and it comes off easily.
Okay.
Yay.
Does it say anything on the opposite side?
No.
Can I grab a pen? Or no, I want to grab the woodworking tools. And I'm going to carve attic into the placard and replace it.
You carve attic and then you replace it. Do you want to open the door now?
Yes.
It opens, but there's like a force pushing back on it. And the letters seem to burn, and they burn themselves completely out until the placard is consumed and the door shuts itself. And you feel like there's a place that it wants to go to, but you've gotten the address wrong.
Okay. Let's try the whatchamacallit, the basement.
Well, the only other one was the kitchen placard, I thought.
There's a placard for each door.
Yeah, there's a placard on each door.
Okay.
What do you want to do with the basement placard?
I want to do the same thing.
Write attic on it and put it in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do anything with the keyhole?
Yeah, put the key in. The attic key.
Yeah, I'll call them into the living room.
Before he does that,
say-
I'm going to toss the bed, see if there's anything under it. Or
Underneath the bed is boxes and boxes of files. The boxes themselves are categorized by date, going backwards from present date to almost 7 years ago. This will take a significant amount of investigation.
What's the present day one say?
You would have to like look through the boxes.
Oh, they're not.
Do you want to look through the boxes?
It's not listed. It's not sorted by date. I can't just look at the latest entry or whatever.
No, it's not sorted by date.
Okay. Okay, we'll put a pin on that and come back to that. So
okay. So you put your attic placard into the basement door.
Uh-huh.
This time when you put the attic key in, it actually turns. But when you go to open it, like it's like shuttered and it like kind of vibrates. And then the placard does the thing where it burns itself out again. It's like you have half of the puzzle.
Huh. Okay. Maybe the placard goes in a different spot, but the key still opens this part?
Well, there's another place with the key. That's the bedroom. Or with
Can I have you
with a
roll
lock.
inspiration? Just to get an
idea times 5 or intelligence times 5 for
Yes.
idea.
I'm rolling really badly today. 82 out of 50. I'm dumb.
You feel like you have the pieces. You feel like it has something to do with the placard. You feel like it has something to do with the key. It's just when you write attic, it's not working, and you don't know what's wrong with the word.
I mean, the label on the key says attic, right?
The label on the key says attic.
Okay, so it's the same.
The label on the to-do list said attic.
Mm-hmm.
The attic? I mean, maybe it's... let's see. I mean, maybe we could look through those files to give us more information.
There's not a...
Yeah.
Oh, God. There's not... So the last thing on the to-do list was set table for the guests, right?
Mm-hmm.
The to-do list, again, in order, is clean the fridge, lock the attic, tidy up in the library, replace the kitchen placard, and set the table for my guests.
The library.
Yeah, but that's just a bookshelf.
No. Like, maybe there's a different room that's supposed to be the library, not this room.
Oh, the attic is the library, and so we need to call it the library, even though it's attic on the key.
I don't quite know if that's the case, but give it a try.
All right.
I'll go to the bedroom door and put the library on its placard and see if it opens up to a different room.
All right, so you make a placard that says the library.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the door opens up into a new room, and it opens up into a sprawling library in the purest sense of the word. The doorway you've come from appears to be set into nothing. From all directions, sprawled out around you are floors and shelves and floors and shelves and floors and shelves and stairs and shelves, overhangs and nooks and alleys of nothing but books. It's endless, with no real architectural pattern or reasoning. There's no distinguishing features or landmarks, like a word populated only by tomes of indecipherable age. And you roll sanity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, I rolled okay there. That's
I failed.
43. That's a pass.
Right.
If you fail, take 2 sanity damage.
Okay.
I made it. Oh boy!
On the ground at your feet is a length of knotted rope. It meanders outwards, splitting in several directions, deeper into the library.
Grab the rope. Don't let go.
Follow the rope.
All right. So the things that you still have that you have not investigated are the files you pulled out of the bedroom, and then obviously the library itself.
Can I grab a book off the shelf?
Just a book close
Just
to you.
any book. Yeah.
It's got a name on it.
I figured. I'm interested in the paper.
The paper looks like bleached white vellum, like really, really old vellum. And it appears to clinically and in excruciating detail tell the story of the person whose name is written on the cover.
I glance at the books surrounding it. Are there... Is it possible to infer the organizational system?
There is an 8-digit number that you remember seeing things like that on the ledger that you found in the basement. But like as far as organization, like either there is no order or it's an order beyond your comprehension.
Okay. Do we have
like it's not arranged alphabetically? The numbers don't line up. There's no corresponding between the names and the letters or in the numbers.
It's by neighborhood of where they live, so good luck.
Don't
What?
you know the Dewey Decimal System?
That doesn't exist.
Wait,
What?
what?
There were numbers on the ledger that weren't crossed out, right?
Yes.
How many?
A lot.
A lot.
The exact number is immaterial.
Okay.
So do you want to go
Well.
library diving, or do you want to do research on the files you found in the bedroom?
Library diving seems final. Let's do a little research.
All right. So we
Ross
go-
sounds like he wants to do research.
Raw really wants to research. He
Yeah.
wants to raw search.
All right.
All
Can
right.
somebody use like one of your paperwork skills then on the boxes
Fuck
of files?
yeah.
Sure.
41. I don't know if that works for me.
Yeah,
Bureaucracy, 41.
same.
Okay. The files seem to be accounts of the exploration of 2 rooms inside the cabin, neither of which you've seen. Well, one of which you've seen now, and which there doesn't appear to be physical space for. The accounts mostly mention the library and the stories contained inside. Some of them are gruesome, but mostly mundane. The books appear to be only biographies, which Knight was reading through and keeping notes on. And then from your second test, most of the books are uninteresting to Knight, but a few seem to be biographies of serial killers. As he describes the lives of the people the books write about, you can't help but notice similarities to some of his recently published works. Was he copying the lives of these horrific killers? You need to dig further to be sure. So I'm going to need one more of your paperworking skills.
All right. Yep.
The investigation into the books and Knight's notes on them seems to hit a fever peak when he found an unfinished volume with its own name on it. The notes become unintelligible after that. Though he is recorded for months afterwards, you can no longer distinguish what the symbols scrawled into these journals even mean.
So the
He found his own book.
yeah, so they don't correspond to any known language or alphabet.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll take that. In case we need, is the entire book written like that, or did it like gradually change from English to that alien cipher?
So he's been keeping notes on the books he's found. Like, these aren't actually the books he's found.
Okay.
But as they grow closer to the present day, he's still dating them and you can read the dates, but the actual entries is in a language that you can't understand.
Okay.
If it is a language.
Right. I mean, it has consistent patterns and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't look like.
I mean, if you want to spend a long time trying to figure out what it says.
Yeah, I'm not a cryptographer, so. Do I have cryptography? That would probably. I might have.
That would be a special skill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or
What was the other
or
room?
SIGINT,
Yeah,
maybe.
SIGINT, but I don't have SIGINT.
The 2 rooms it mentions are the attic and the library.
Okay, so probably the attic is accessible through the library.
It would seem that way.
Yeah, so that's.
But how the fuck do we get to the attic through this?
Well, we follow the rope. Like you said, there was a knotted rope at our feet, right? Can we just pick it up and follow it and see where it leads?
Yeah. So do you want to follow Theseus's breadcrumbs?
Yep. We'll hold on to that thread. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to us.
Oh, you mean
Can
this
I-
plot thread?
Yes. Can I have you roll 1d6?
Okay. All right, I got a 3.
Okay. The rope meanders through the various parts of the library until it comes to a specific shelf where it ends at a book. It's a biographical history of someone named Garrett Knight. It contains no publishing information on the inside cover, but there is a handwritten scrawl and a permanent marker saying, "I'm sorry." The text covers the entire history and life of Garrett, including inconsequential moments. It's written from a weird perspective and tone, both emotional and clinical all at once.
Flip to the end. How does what's the last? What happens to him? Does it go past? The future. What is the? I look to see the end to see if it goes into the future. We know what the day was.
There's a ton of blank pages.
Okay.
But when you read a page and flip and it's blank, if you flip back and then you wait a while, you can flip and that page now has text on it. And it just seems to be filling itself out and chronicling what Garrett's doing at the moment.
Okay. So
It's really simple things, like he's brushing his teeth
Wow.
climbing to bed.
Okay.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
Okay. So he's still okay. So it's still being written. It's not over. I flip to the beginning and look around to see if there's any signs of someone tampering or altering the text.
Not other than the permanent marker saying "I'm sorry."
Okay. Huh. What do we do with this?
What if you tear a page out?
Yeah. Did I see any look like where there was a page torn out at the beginning, or
Does not look like there are pages torn out, but you could tear pages out if you want.
Yeah. Flip towards the beginning and try and find a page with Jack in it as well.
How? What person is it written in?
Third person.
I'm gonna pull a pen out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the book.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the most recent thing that is written? Like
He's sleeping.
Okay, and I'm going to write. He wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
He gets in his car.
Mm-hmm.
He starts driving, and I'm going to see if that, like, if it resolves itself, like, or if it's just like it just continues with he's sleeping.
It continues on with him driving. It continues on with him being confused about why he got in the car or where he's going.
Fuck!
Okay. So does it look
yeah.
like her handwriting when she made the changes, or did it like change to look like the text of the book?
It's her handwriting,
Okay.
but the text that follows it is the text of the book.
So we can see when someone edited in there.
Yes.
Okay. So flip previously and see if there's any other handwritten changes.
No.
Okay.
So, all right, I've got an idea. Just
there are other places that the knotted rope goes to. But
Okay.
This is just where you ended up first.
interesting. Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Is there
Okay.
something you wanted to do to the book first?
Either, unless you want to drive him to come here to have a confrontation with his brother, you should have him go back to sleep. Have him go home and go back to sleep.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, don't just tell him to go back to sleep, because that would end poorly.
Yeah.
He recalls the ghost that he mentioned in the cabin.
Okay. So he pulls over and he has a really pensive moment. And then he's thinking back over his childhood with Jack and how he feels like he bullied his brother. And all he was doing was trying to help. All the times he gave him money or paid for bus fare. Like he really felt like he was supporting his brother when really all he was doing was driving him away. Garrett starts to tear up, sitting in the wheel of his car alone.
Wow.
Does it say what the ghost actually is?
I think that was the ghost.
Okay. Just his bad.
The ghost of his guilt.
Yeah.
All right.
Um.
All right, let's go see where the rope goes next.
Okay, roll a d6.
Yeah.
Ignore result of 3.
Okay. 6.
Okay. You come along to a book that doesn't look like any of the others in the library, and you can't tell if it was brought in or if it was always here. The book is covered in a strange pale white material somewhat resembling vellum. Would you like to continue reading it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of the book is in some kind of indecipherable code, while pages in other languages seem to have been inserted after the fact as a guide. It hurts your eyes to read, and a careful examination of the text and diagrams causes that pain to extend ever backwards behind your eyes and into your brain. The most you can come to understand before the book becomes unbearable is that it concerns the nature of agreements, pacts, summoning, and binding of ancient and powerful creatures. And if you read it, you take 1 sanity damage.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Is there one creature in there called the Storyteller, or something connected to that?
Maybe. It would take a long time to read through the cross notes and check.
Okay.
This seems more like it's a general manual on how to contact and speak with these creatures than maybe not so specifically like particular ones.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's hold on to this one in case we have to destroy it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Keep going. Keep rolling a d6, ignore 3.
Yes, please.
All right. That was a 6. This dice is weighted. 5.
Okay. So you come along to stuff that's not books. It's just like a box full of wooden placards. There's a bunch of wooden placards left here, some carved and some not. They have very mundane room names carved into them, like bedroom, basement, and kitchen.
Is there an attic?
There's not an attic.
Damn it.
All right. So we know where that is if we need backup placards. Let's see here.
Just start shoving placards in my pockets.
1.
Okay. So you come across another specific book. This particular book has singe marks on the cover and the pages, like it's been placed in a fire more than once. The smoke damage makes it unreadable, but the cover suggests that it's the book of someone named Adrian Knight.
Is that his mother's name?
Yes.
Okay. And looking through the pages, we can't read any of it anymore.
No, it's been too badly burned.
Okay. Okay.
You want to flip a coin to see where the last one is?
Well, there's 2 left, I think. 2 and 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So flip a coin to see where you go next.
4.
Okay. So this comes to another specific book. The pages of this book have been torn out and replaced with new ones. There's a few short pages, all handwritten. They contain ramblings about a vastness and emptiness that exists somewhere or maybe somewhen. The rating script attempts to explain this location, offering referencing its beauty. Towards the end of the text, there's descriptions of an inhabitant of this place. The text is fawning with lots of purple prose describing the inhabitant, but nothing to explain who or what it might be. The very last page contains only 2 lines of text, one above the other. The bottom line is a series of symbols that almost hurt to look at. Above it is scrawled 2 words in quotations. The attic.
Oh, good. Fuck. All right.
Okay.
So it's those symbols we need. That's the
Yep.
attic. That's the.
I will copy the symbols onto the back of a placard.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we have to hang it on a door before it
Yes.
activates.
But now we have it.
Yeah. All right. Do the symbols match the ones that he was writing that his research turned into? Like, does it look
Yeah,
like...
it seems like it's a similar kind of script.
Okay. All right. Last destination on the rope.
Okay. So the last place that the rope leads to is a book labeled Russell Knight, and huge gouges mar this book. The cuts are very deep.
That must be his father.
What is it? Is it unreadable?
It's unreadable.
Okay.
Okay. So are the Russell and Adrian Knight books closer to each other on like the floors or bookcases or whatever than say the Garrett Knight books?
It's really hard to measure distance in this place.
Okay.
Oh God!
Meow.
There's hell creatures
There's-
lurking.
Hurrah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Forgive my son.
That's fine. So we will head back out.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's all go to the attic.
So no sooner have you stepped out of the library than all of you blink your eyes and you're slowly waking up inside a dark room. It seems to be completely featureless. You feel like there must be a floor, but everything is just a yawning black emptiness. You are sitting down, all of you, in chairs, which you seem to be tied to. It's secured by your arms and legs and neck, as you're just sort of stuck in these chairs. And you're vaguely facing each other in kind of like a semicircle, like you're all sitting to watch some kind of presenter. And you're all looking at Jack, who looks extremely upset. Just couldn't leave well enough alone. Could you? Always just poking around in my shit. I gave you one specific job, and none of you did it right.
Fuck you! What do you mean? What do you mean one specific job?
Was it so hard to just spice up the story a little? Just maybe like try a little bit, do a little role playing.
What are you talking about?
You're all so fucking droll.
It's not what that word means.
What stage direction did you want to give us? What are you trying to what are you trying to get out of this?
I'm done with that now. I'm just gonna go straight to the source. And so he walks over to Marshall Brandt and grabs you kind of like behind the ear and just pulls and lifts up the entirety of your face, just like opens it like he's opening a book. And on the inside, like written into your flesh and written into the underside of your skin, are all these words. And he pulls out a knife and just starts digging around in it, and changing the letters and writing new things. Can you all make sanity tests?
Oh,
yeah, that's fair.
I crit failed.
I pass, actually.
Okay. If you pass, you take 2.
Okay.
If you fail, you take 3, and if you crit failed, you take an extra D4 on top of that.
Okay.
Great. All right, let me grab my D4. That's 3.
Okay. So he's like digging around and like making things, and then things just sort of like blur and they make no sense, and like your sensations kind of mesh together, and then all of you are just standing outside of the door to the library like nothing had happened.
Do we remember that just happened?
Yep.
I turn to Johnson.
What?
All right. Yeah, he can.
What did he do to me? What did he do to me?
He tortured you pretty badly.
Yeah, he tortured you. Why don't you just stand right there, John?
Do I still have the placard?
Mm-hmm. You still have the placard.
Alden?
Yeah?
Say we keep an eye on Johnson.
I think we're all at risk here. He's going to keep torturing us until we're, babbling piles of meat on the ground. So we need to find a way. But he doesn't have total power over us. Otherwise, why would we still be here? Why are we talking right now? So
he'd have to find our books now, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So we have some time to work. So let's go to the attic and see what's there.
All right. So how do we want to attempt to get to the attic?
Well, we step out of the library into the close the door and then change the placard and see if that works.
No, we go to the basement.
Okay, we'll do it at the basement.
Yes. Because that's where the attic key goes.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So, yeah, you slide in the attic placard and you put the key in and the key turns. And this time when you open the basement doors, it opens out into what looks like some kind of snowy field.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to enter?
No, but I suppose we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Are all of you going?
Yep.
The sky stretches out ahead of you, endlessly undulating. The atmosphere is a series of waves, but with a gentle ripple to it, like waves on a glassy black pond. It's night, or at least you assume by the dark emptiness of the space above you. Pocked by watery stars, it must be night. It's clear like glass, so far away from you. Beneath you is a flat white plain of snow, flowing out in all directions. Where the sky has a gentle texture and wave to it, this is completely flat. You sink into the ground a little, leaving footprints that mar this pristine landscape. The world here is featureless, save for a shape in the distance. It looks like the crouched form of a traveler wrapped in a long flowing cloak, huddled with the garment drawn about them.
We go to the figure.
Continue on, or do you want to leave?
Go to the figure.
The figure is farther off than you first believed. As you grow closer, it only grows in size, until you realize that the form was monstrous. It notices you approach, the hood of the garment turning to regard you, but it doesn't move. You walk forward inexorably until you stand in front of it. Now it turns to you, finally presenting itself. The body is wrapped in a cloak, made of hundreds of thousands of pieces. They're long and white, tattered and aged. It seems to be sewn together from so many pieces of paper, older than you can possibly conceive. They blow with the wind, and yet there is no wind. They reflect the light from the sky, and yet there is no light. They hold back the chill of the snow, and yet there is no discernible temperature. The creature is massive inside, made of spindly dark limbs the color of cherry wood. It has so many arms, so many horrible arms reaching out from the darkness inside its cloak. They reach out and land softly in the snow around you, forming pillars like a makeshift cage, or maybe just a pleasantly columned gazebo. It's impossible to know, as there's no visage to look into, nothing to gauge your reaction. Or at least, not one that you can understand. The hood of the cloak hides a face made of galaxies, of swirling stars and gases, of emptiness and yet crammed full of something, of the essence of space, of time. You can feel it regard you in the way the galaxies burn, in the way the stars twinkle, in the way that tiny universe hums inside the cloak. It bends its face down to you and screams at you in a voice as quiet as a mouse, yelling and whispering all at once, in a voice so terrible and thunderous that the noise of it is deafening, and yet in a murmur so quiet as to focus all understanding into this one terrible pinpoint of communication. It speaks precious few words. Tell me a story. So, first of all,
Yeah.
can I have you all make sanity checks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I fail.
If you fail, you take 2. If you succeed, you take 1.
And I think that's break for me.
It's either 5 at once or your breaking point.
Hitting your breaking point.
Yep.
Oh, you hit your breaking point? Okay. Then I got a crit failure. I rolled a 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and take an extra 1d4.
All right. 4, so I take 6, so I do get a temporary. So I freeze, I guess.
All right. Yeah. So 2 of you are just like frozen in fear, like completely unable to understand what you should be doing.
I passed.
Okay.
Tell him a story.
So I start telling him the story of how I met my ex-wife.
Okay. Can I have you roll persuasion?
Okay. Persuade, that's a 50. That's not too bad. I get an 9.
So it just kind of like stares at you, and it doesn't move for the entire like length of your story. And you like tell a lot of it. Like you start adding like not exactly embellishments, but you start like throwing in details you like didn't even think were like important to the story, until you feel like you've just let out this like monstrous novel of how this event went down. And then you're just kind of quiet, and it just kind of regards you. And then it like nods once at you, and then it points back towards the door you came from. And then its face swivels and gets right into Ross's face, into Marshall Altum's face. And it says the same thing. Tell me a story.
Have I recovered yet?
Yeah, you can attempt to tell a story.
All right.
But for Marshall Brandt, yeah, it just pointed back to the door.
I'm gonna clap Altum on the shoulder.
Yep.
And then just head out the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Marshall
Altum, what story do you want to tell?
The day how I got involved in Delta Green. When I was called out.
How did you get?
I was called out to investigate a museum. And when we were trapped in the museum, because going into one room would lead to a different room, and it never ended. And we were in there for over a week. We almost ran out of food and water, but we found a way out. Well, some of us did. Not everyone did. And then they told me that things were like this, and we had to stop them from getting worse. And that required, killing people and throwing their bodies in lakes, and framing people for crimes they didn't commit, and stealing and other things, because it would be worse otherwise.
Can I have you roll persuasion?
I did. I rolled a 4.
Okay. Yeah, so it like listens intently to the entirety of your story, and then it just nods at you and points to the door. And then its monstrous galaxy head turns to Ada, and it says its trademark line, "Tell me a story."
I'll tell you the story about a book that tells the story about a book. There was once, many years ago, a tiny bookshop off the coast of England. In that shop there were many books, but one not like any other. The book told the story of a book about the story of a book. And that book, upon reading it, led me here to tell stories, to read stories about books that tell stories about people who read books. And I continue on in this recursive.
Okay. Can I have you roll persuasion?
Uh-huh. It's a 22.
Okay. It like makes a kind of noise that's a bit like tinkling chimes.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it nods twice. And you see it like pull one of the pieces of paper out of its cloak, and it scratches off what had been written there. And it writes something new and then folds it back into the cloak and then points at the door.
We're looking for Jack Knight. Where is his story right now?
It like kind of tilts its head, like, you know, like when a dog doesn't understand something.
Right. Tell me a story of Jack Knight.
So it touches you on the forehead with one finger, and you learn everything about Jack Knight, as though you had been standing here for days with it, like lecturing you about everything. And you know everything about the story of Jack Knight, all of the minute details from like his birth all the way up to like the present day. Like, it is a lot to process all at once. So you take just 2 sanity damage straight up.
Great, perfect.
But you've learned that he like found this cabin, like it was in his family, and he just like learned about these different spaces one day when he was like cleaning or whatever. And like once he like found the library, like he couldn't stop exploring on the inside until eventually he found the attic, and he became obsessed with the storyteller. So he's yet to approach the storyteller, but he's obsessed with like finding the perfect story to tell to the storyteller. And so he's been getting people to come to the cabin and then fucking with them to see if he can kind of create a masterpiece. And he's bound himself to the cabin somehow.
In his story, did I learn how he bound himself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used that book that you had about binding creatures, and he used it to bind himself.
Oh.
So he can't leave the cabin, but he has a lot of control inside of it.
Okay. Where is he right now?
He's in the cabin.
He is the cabin.
Kind of.
Is it possible for us to go back out? Like, can we leave?
Yeah.
Can we step out of the cabin?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we actually outside of the cabin?
How do you mean? Like, what, are you right now outside of the cabin?
Well, are we able to leave in a way that is real and not just a... Like, yes. Okay, so, okay. There was that place behind the cabin, right? Like the
generator shed.
Right. Mm-hmm. Was it locked? Was it openable?
It was open.
Okay. Can we go there? I just want to see if that's where Jack is, because...
No, I think he's just...
No, you know where Jack is. He's inside the cabin.
Oh, okay.
He's everywhere inside the cabin.
So we have to burn the cabin down, then.
Well, the other thing is just to tell him that, I mean, he's been looking, if he wants the ultimate story is his own story, so he just has to...
Wait, where is Jack's book? I know
you
Jack.
found it already.
Okay.
It had all the pages torn out.
It had all the pages torn out. Do we have it?
I mean, if you grabbed it, it's the one that told you where the attic is, or how to get to, like, the name of the attic.
Okay, the one at the end. Okay. I've got an idea. Why don't we go back and pay a visit to Jack's book? He's a hack writer, and I think I can do him one better.
You
All
feel
right.
free to do that.
Are you leaving, Johnson?
No, I'm gonna. Well, I'll be right back. Were there gas cans out by the generator?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna start bringing in some gas cans.
Okay.
I'm going to turn to Alton.
Yeah.
All right, either you can come with me or keep an eye on him. I still don't know what Jack.
I'll go
did
with
to
you.
him.
I'll go with you. I'll if he attacks, he can't get us both at the same time. I hope.
Fair.
Well,
All
or
right.
actually, he probably can. But if he wants the ultimate story, it's him.
Marshall Brandt, you hear a voice like whispering to you. It's not going to work out the way you think it will. You
Yeah,
think this
well,
is the first time you've tried to burn this place down?
great.
You think it's going to stick this time?
You never know.
I like your pluck, Marshall.
I bet you do. I
I
bet
hope
that's
the
why you
next
keep
one
me
is
here.
as
Huh?
interesting.
All right. I'm going to try and find Jack's book.
Presumably you already had it, or you
Okay.
can just follow the rope back in the library.
Yeah.
All right. So, popping Jack's book open, there's presumably nothing being written presently.
No, right? Yes,
Okay.
there's nothing being written.
Can I? Was there any blank paper with that vellum-like property in the house?
You could steal it from another book.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to steal some blank paper from another book
Mhm.
and then start writing.
Okay, what do you want to write?
He revealed himself to the trio at the exact place that he disappeared. He confessed his plan, start to finish, but made one fatal mistake. And I'll leave it at that, just so I don't get too ahead of myself.
Okay.
All right, let's go check out the foyer.
All right.
So in the gasoline-soaked foyer,
Uh-huh.
you see Jack just standing there.
Oh, good. Jack, didn't
Ada?
expect to see you here.
I don't think this is going to work out the way you think it will.
How do you think that I think it'll work out?
Well, we'll just see, won't we?
I suppose
Is this
we
the part
will.
where I'm supposed to confess, Ada? Where you want me to explain to you how everything's been running around in here?
I had hoped.
Well, you've already figured it out by now, haven't you? Or, I mean, you can go look in the snowdrift and see if anybody in there looks familiar to you.
I think I'd like to avoid that.
Suit yourself.
Where is Marshall?
Which Marshall? Are you
Uh,
asking about?
What's Johnson's name?
Yeah. Noah
Brant.
Brandt.
Brandt. Thank you. Yeah. Where is Brandt?
Aren't you all in the foyer?
Oh, I thought we'd gone off separately.
No,
Never
I was
mind,
with
never
you,
mind.
and then
Yeah, I
no,
thought you were all in the foyer. I thought you
Okay,
said
okay.
gather everyone in the foyer.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Pardon.
No,
What did you
Standing there
do?
I'm standing there with a jerry can.
Yeah.
What did you do to Brandt?
The same thing I did to all of you. I fixed you. And the next time you're more interesting, and sometimes you're less interesting. Albeit the first few times we did this, it wasn't exactly clean, but I'm pretty good at it now.
And it's that meat hook, isn't it?
Well, the meat hook helps, but it doesn't need to be a meat hook. I mean, thematically, it's more interesting, don't you think? You know, a
Have you-
real go-getter kind of prop.
Have you fixed yourself?
Oh, no, of course not. Why would I?
Don't you think that would be a bit more interesting as far as stories go?
I wouldn't need to. I already have a good story. It just needs editing.
Really? You have a good story? And how long
Yeah.
have you been editing this?
I'm going to edit it until it's perfect, Ada.
I think that only so much editing can be done before you're just belaboring the point. Sometimes a horse is dead and you simply need to stop beating.
Well, you see, Ada, I have a long time to work on this, so it doesn't really bother me.
Oh, but what if, even after all that time, you're never able to produce a story that finds interesting?
I see what you're trying to do. And it's not going to work, okay? You don't think we haven't done this like 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 times already?
I think that's simply evidence enough that I'm right.
Do you want to throw the match now? Is you just going to finally throw a tantrum and light this whole place up? Is that what you're waiting for to happen?
No, not at all. Why don't we have a civilized discussion about this?
I'm going to take that out for next time. I like the accent, though. I think I should keep that. Definitely adds je ne sais quoi.
That's not the same area.
No wonder you're such a bad writer.
Bad
You are a
writer?
hack.
I'm the only writer that matters anymore.
Really? Last I heard, I hadn't heard of you. Job.
The problem is that horror as a genre is more satisfying when it's about, there's a story arc, there's a morality to it, and at the end, good triumphs over evil. That's what people want. That's what's popular. So if you want to make a story that people will want to read, you have to have the good guys win at the end, and you're not the good guy.
So you just want me to let you waltz out of here and go back to your little organization?
I have a suggestion for your ending.
And what's that, Ada?
Don't you think it's more interesting if... Don't you think it's more interesting if, rather than you telling the story to something, you become that something?
How do you mean?
Well, why are you? You're the only author that matters, right?
Of course.
And yet there's an author you're still trying to impress.
Oh, it doesn't write stories. It just collects them.
I think it does write stories, Jack.
I feel like you were going to say something there.
Nope.
He's just like kind of growing like increasingly irritated with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just starts walking over to the rifle. It's about time we step back to square one, isn't it?
No. Again, I think you're thinking
You can shoot him, right? Just shoot him.
No, because that's what he wants.
Well, don't kill him, I mean. Just incapacitate him.
So he's pulled the rifle off the wall, and he's now aiming it at you.
I hit him with the jerry can.
Just gonna throw it at him?
Yeah.
All right, can you just throw it at him then? Can you roll throwing? I want to say
athletics would work, I guess.
Sure.
What is my... That's bad, but... That's... God damn it, it's like the second 99.
You critically fail.
Not only do you miss, you just like chuck it into the fucking into the fireplace, and it just like explodes into a fireball that like shoots outwards into the rest of the room. That, may I remind you, you have coated in gasoline.
I'm running for the front
everything is extremely on fire now.
Also, it's full of paper.
Extremely on fire.
I try to escape if that's possible.
So I know everything about Jack, right?
Okay. Yes.
Do I know how he pulled Brant's face off and wrote things?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to sprint at Jack.
This is entirely unnecessary, but sure.
I leap at Jack,
Mhm.
And I grab under his chin and try to start pulling his face back.
Okay, can I have you roll unarmed?
Yeah, baby. I'm good at that. That is a 17.
Okay, yeah. So you pull his face up, and you can see the text written underneath.
You know, Jack, it's something I've always heard. They say an author should never do their own. And I start digging in with my fingernail, writing out. Okay, wait. What case? What tense is this written in?
Third person. Fucking.
So like third person omniscient.
Yeah.
Or, okay.
I don't know. I can't tell you the word for what tense it is right now. My brain is not.
I get it. Is it so? It's like he does this, he does that,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, he escapes the fire. He escapes the fire. And gives up on his story, admitting, realizing, accepting that he's never been much of an author, that he doesn't have what it takes, to be what he's dreamed of, to be the only author that matters anymore.
Okay. So the skin like folds itself back down, and then he just kind of like drops the rifle and starts crying as like everything is in flames around him, and he's like, it's never gonna work. It's just never gonna be good enough.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been
It's
saying.
all your fault.
Okay.
You hadn't fucked everything up.
Can I choke him to death right here?
Do you want to choke him to death?
The building's on fire.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
choke
you could
him to
just-
death
you
in
could
this
just
burning
leave
building.
him.
Because he's killed so many people.
You could just leave him in the burning building.
No, I want to choke him to death after making him realize that his life's work is worthless.
Okay, yeah. Can you go ahead and make us like a sanity check though? Because you're like
Yeah.
literally deciding to choke the life out of a man.
91.
Okay, no, yeah. This is gonna fuck you up for like ever afterwards. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, you could choke him to death in a burning house. Sure, why not?
That's a 5 for choking him to death.
Yeah, you choke. You look deep into his eyes, knowing that you've literally and fundamentally altered the personality of this man, only to then choke him to death. You watch as his like eyes bulge outwards and no air comes into his lungs as he just writhes underneath you like a fish out of water.
Can I, right before he dies, can I lean in?
Sure.
Turns out to be a pretty good end, doesn't it, Jack?
So the sane marshals who have already run outside of the room, and you're standing outside in the snow, like you just see Ada like walk out alone with like beams and shit like collapsing in behind her as this like whole building is just straight up on fire. But yeah, there's no Jack. She's just calmly walking outside by herself.
I guess this passes for a happy ending. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I think I've got some reading to catch up on.
I'm never reading again. And I'm not speaking about this again. Let's go. Yeah.
Of course. Of course you won't be.
All right. So we get out and hope that I never see that cabin again.
So you all stand at the end of the driveway, and you just huddle up together, shivering as you wait for the van to slowly rattle closer towards you. You can get in.
I put the unopened letters back in the mailbox.
And that's the story of Amanuensis dolls. Thank you all for listening to this. I hope you enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really good.
I did quite enjoy that. Was there any other consequences of us telling a story to the whatever that
if
cosmic
you
thing
run
is?
away or fail a persuasion check, it kills you. It like rips all of your skin off, And in the blink of an eye, it ages thousands of years until it's bleached and pale, and it adds it to the cloak.
All right.
Oh, good.
So, all right, yeah. And so we had to critically succeed to learn how to manipulate Jack, or just
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the if you could have just set it on fire and tried to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and then while you're leaving, like Jack would have just reset things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like easy to get out. It's just hard to destroy things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you expect me to do that?
You did everything wrong and terribly constantly, and it was hard to keep up with you. You just make everything way harder than it has to be.
That's how I play Delta Green, babe.
Yeah. I mean, you could have like rewritten his personality so that he was a pacifist, or that he was satisfied with his own work.
No. Do you understand what's going to happen after the credits roll?
Yeah.
Do you understand why I said, of course you won't?
Yeah. Because he's gonna come back.
No.
What?
Because I'm going to make both of you forget.
Oh.
Yeah, she can fucking Rohan Kishibe you now.
Yeah.
I'm going to make both of you forget this ever happened, and I'm going to go fucking rogue. Because I know what the agency does to people who can do shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's
They
a good
either
reason
kill
for
you
that.
or use you for their own bit.
Yeah.
So that'll be the next adventure, hunting down Ada
Yep. You're an agent.
And you know what Ada's last name was?
Kafkian.
Kafkian.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh.
One of you might turn into a bit of a caterpillar.
If you like things about me, written by me, for everyone else, you can check out patreon.com/BridgetFan. And if you like things that Faye and I work on together, check out crynovel.itch.io. Again, crynovel.itch.io. And you can check out our upcoming visual novel, Cry Hunter's Record.
All right. Yep.
Forward to it.
Yeah, and Bridget runs games for the RPPR Patreon. Check that out. Patreon.com/RPPR. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for running the game again, Bridget. It was
No problem.
we'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Oh no, what happened to Craig?
Oh, I'm recording on my end as well. So
Craig, come back.
Craig, no. Craig, come back. We're sorry.
Should we wait?
Now recording.
Fuck you, Craig.
God damn it, Craig.
All right,
Piece
so
of
Alias.
shit robot.